Our final example says determine the value of x and y. So I have a diagram and I have a couple of marked angles. I have two that are y. I have one that's x plus 12 and one that's 2x plus 3. So the first thing I'm wondering is why I have two angles that are marked as the exact same thing. And if they're marked with the exact same thing, that's because they're the same measure, right? So this angle here and this angle here are both the same size. So I only have 4 theorems that we're working with. We have complementary angles, supplementary angles, reflex angles, and opposite angles. So we're looking at solving for x and solving for y. If I think about those y's first, they do make a straight line, but I don't know what this angle is down here. They also make a straight line here, but I have y and x, and I don't know what x is. If I turn it again, I don't have a straight line there, but I do have a straight line here. And I have two angles, and they both have the same letter that are making a straight line. So I actually think I'm going to start here with this straight line that's going here and see if I can use that to help me find what x is. So a straight line adds to 180 degrees, which means these two angles here should add to 180 degrees. So I'm going to say that x plus 12 plus 2x plus 3 should equal 180 degrees. Now, when we were doing questions and you had a table, there was a place for you to put what theorem you were using. I don't have a table here, so I'm going to just write down what theorem I used. So this is a straight line, so that is supplementary angle theorem, or SAT. And now that I have an equation, I'm just going to solve it. So I do notice I have 4 terms on this side, which means some of them have to be like terms. So I've got an x and I have 2x. So x plus 2x makes 3x. And then I have a 12 and a 3. 12 plus 3 is 15. And that equals 180. So from here, we're just going to solve. So I'm going to subtract 15. 180 take away 15 is 165. And then I need to divide both sides by 3. I don't want to do that in my head. So 165 divided by 3 is 55. And that is degrees. So that means x is 55 degrees. Okay, so I now know what x is. I still need to figure out what y is. And I do see that there's a full circle, but I'm missing an angle. There are ways to find that angle. I do notice that the two y's make a straight line with x plus 12. And then once again, they make a straight line with the angle I don't know. So before, I didn't try using this because I'd have y's and x's. But now that I know what x is, I can actually calculate what x plus 12 is. So x plus 12 would be 55 plus 12, which is 67 degrees. So this angle here is actually 67 degrees. So I have a straight line with a y, and a 67 degrees. So those 3 angles together should add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to do that just down here. So I'm going to say y plus 67 equals 180 degrees. And that is SAT, the supplementary angle theorem. They made a straight line. Should have left a little more space in between these two. So I do have like terms. Y and y make 2y plus 67 equals 180. And then I need to solve. So I'm going to subtract 67 from both sides. So 2y equals, I think that should be 113. So 180 minus 67 is 113. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Now, I know that 113 does not divide evenly by 2, but it does give me a not too bad decimal. It is 56.5. So sometimes you are going to get decimals as your answer, and that's okay. So it is 56.5 degrees. So I'm going to write a little statement at the end just because I had 2 different things to calculate. So I'm going to say, therefore, x equals 55 degrees, y equals 56.5 degrees.